Welcome and thank you for your service at Tiny Tim's Foundation for Kids. Our founder, Alton Thacker, used to always say, if you want to be happy, do something for someone else. We know that to be true, and thank you for being here with us. Whether you're serving in the shop with us or doing one of our many take-home projects, we appreciate your service. Your service blesses the lives of hundreds of thousands of children and families all over the world. There are over 500 million children in the world who have never had a toy, and many more who are having a hard time and need a reason to smile. So far, we've made over 1.8 million toys, hundreds of thousands of dresses, blankets, quilts, shorts, knit hats, and more. This is all done by amazing volunteers like you. You make a difference to so many people. This was all started by Alton and Cheryl Thacker over 30 years ago. They were doing humanitarian work in Mexico, doing eyeglass clinics, but soon found through mutual friends that there was more they could do, and they were willing. Just keep saying yes as often and as long as you can, said Cheryl. If it doesn't work, at least you tried. So they did. They did as much and as often as they could. They built a hospital with surgery rooms where they could take doctors and dentists and fix clubbed feet and cleft palates, among other things. After they fixed the kids' feet, they then needed physical therapy to learn to walk for the first time, some of them at the ages of 10 or 12 years old. We hired a physical therapist who could work with the kids. This man was a native to Mexico. His family had been migrant workers who traveled around, the whole family working all day to pick whatever crop was in season. He didn't have the chance to go to elementary school or live in one place to make friends, but he had made himself a toy from a juice box, a string, and a button. He credits this toy for helping to keep his brain sharp so that one day he could go to high school and then college and get a career that would provide stability and independence. Toys can mean so much. While they were doing this medical work, Alton and Cheryl also started a Christmas program where they would take groups the week before Christmas and hand out as much food and needed presents as they could so that everyone would have a Merry Christmas. It was on one of these first trips for Christmas that Cheryl gave a little girl a toy car similar to the ones we make today. She watched as this little girl explored the toy, making each wheel rotate in turn. Soon she had all 4 of them going. She rubbed it across her belly to see them all work together, and then she put her finger in the window and she grinned and hugged the toy. She had her very own, her very first toy, and she was delighted. Cheryl and Alton watched this and were so touched. They knew that they needed more toys, and they would always have them for the children they worked with. In the beginning, they made just 300 or 400 each year in their garage with their kids and grandkids. They would dumpster dive for scrap wood behind cabinet shops and make as many as they could find wood for. Soon, other people who traveled to war-torn or poor countries came to them and wanted to make toys too. They had seen the need and wanted to make a difference in these children's lives. Others didn't travel, but wanted to keep busy and contribute, so they offered to come help make the toys. Eventually, we had a group of 10 workers who came to the shop 1 or 2 days a week. Today, we have over 80 men and women who come 1 to 2 days each week, and over 1,000 people each month who come with groups or do take-home projects, and we are able to make over 100,000 toy cars every year. Over a dozen cabinet shops, mills, and woodwork shops donate their scrap wood to us. This wood would otherwise go to the landfill, but we save it and turn it into a toy car. Several groups also make hygiene, school kits, and baby kits, as well as quilts, clothing, hats, and other donations. All of these items are generously donated or sewn by volunteers. Fabric and instructions are available at the shop for quilts, blankets, shorts, dresses, and hats. Lists of what goes in a kit are online or in the shop. When the item is finished or donated, it's brought back and packaged for sending out with other organizations. We've sent these little toy cars to over 100 countries in the world. Some go with the quilts and clothing by way of large shipping containers to South America and Africa. Others go in smaller boxes or in suitcases, a few at a time. Whenever you're traveling, please come and get a box of toys and take them with you. Children everywhere need them. There is a group that takes large quantities to the orphanages in Mongolia each year. This group started as a foundation to get medical help for children. The children there need help with basic necessities of food, shelter, and medical supplies, but they also need joy and hope to feel better. That is what this little toy car does. It brings hope into their lives and the world. Many years ago, a man came to Alton and asked if he could take a few toys with him on his humanitarian trip. He was going to Lake Titicaca, where families lived on the small floating islands. There were roughly 100 children on these islands, 50 boys and 50 girls. They had been given some toy dolls from another organization for the girls and wanted 50 toy cars for the boys. Well, Alton said, we only give them out in boxes of 100. Well, okay, can I have 100 then, said the man. Of course, Alton responded. And boy, was he glad. When they started handing out the toys, they lined the girls up on one side and the boys on the other. They handed out the girls' dolls first and then opened the box of toys for the boys. Well, the girls wanted a toy car too. They threw the dolls down and got in line for the cars. He was really grateful he had enough for all, so make sure you take as many as you can. These toys have been to many places and to so many children who truly have never had a toy. A couple recently took a box to Kenya, Africa, where they had built an orphanage. They had made a toy room for shared toys and play, but they wanted to take our toys so that each of the children could have their own. They did just that, and when they had a few left over, they took them into the village with them. They handed them out to a few children there. There was a mom with 3 small children who came, and each child gratefully received a toy. As they were walking away, the mother shyly turned back and asked if she too could have a toy. She had never had one of her own in her life. And can't you just see them all now, smiling as they get down and play with their toys together? Many toys stay in Utah and the U.S. and are given to children in hospitals, homeless shelters, foster systems, and more. Anytime a child needs a reason for hope and to smile again, our toys are there to help bring joy in an otherwise hard situation. Making a toy is about a 20-step process. It starts with gathering the wood from the shops, bringing it back to be sorted and sized for gluing. There's often cutting involved to get the wood matched. It is then glued to usable sizes and cut again to make it into the proper size brick. Groups come and trace the pattern onto the wood brick and moves to the bandsaw. There are 5 different patterns of cars that we use, all of them one-cut wonders for ease at the bandsaw. The drill press then makes 2 small holes for the axles and 1 larger window hole. The belt sander smooths each side of the car before the router takes care of the edges. It's then quality checked and branded. This is where the groups can then come check out a box of 100 cars that they will carefully sand by hand to make sure that there are no slivers or rough edges for a child to touch. They also cover the car with mineral oil that will soak in to protect and preserve the wood. It's then brought back to the shop where it's taken to the paint shop to receive its joyful face and sparkle. Groups can then put wheels on the cars and get them ready to go. Quality check again makes sure that it's all smooth with a happy face and 4 spinning wheels before it's boxed up and ready to go to a wonderful child somewhere in the world. Alton used to say, everywhere the toys go, the same story returns. They bring smiles to the children's faces and cultural, linguistic, and social barriers fade away, leaving space for joy, happiness, and peace. All of this is possible only with the generous help of so many. Thank you for being part of Tiny Tim's Foundation for Kids and bringing so much joy into the lives of so many.